So if you have seen my FZS review, I have to say one thing, that this motorcycle is entirely different from the Yamaha FZS. What's up YouTube, welcome to the review of the Yamaha FZX. So the brand new motorcycle from Yamaha, and I got this motorcycle for a few days, riding it inside city for about 100 to 150 kilometers by now, and here I am with my review. So yes, as you might always know that Indians were expecting for an XSR and we got an FCX. So there is a slight disappointment from that part. Basically, to be honest, to see this motorcycle in flesh, it looks actually decent. Looking at the design, the major change or the major new thing that you see on this motorcycle is this kind of headlight. It looks a retro motorcycle from that angle, but looks really nice when it is turned on, the headlight turned on. And coming towards this portion, we have a slightly huge tank and again retro looking seats, and this portion as well. Altogether, I'll say a retro motorcycle. I cannot say modern retro because we have the Honda CB350 and all. So from that angle, I'll say that it's a good looking retro motorcycle. So it seems like it's gonna rain, so I have to make a move. So before that, let me just walk you through the riding posture and all. Basically, it's completely upright, and what it amazed me is that the foot pegs are like really forward set, so the rider has a completely upright riding posture. So let's make a move before it rains. By the way, this motorcycle comes with dual purpose tires. That's why it is a bit easy to take it off-roads. Not just bit easy, it's actually nice to take it off-roads comparing with other naked motorcycles. So yeah, I was talking about the riding posture. So it's completely upright. You can see that the handlebar is actually leaned towards the rider. So if you see this portion of the handlebar, it is actually set towards the rider. So that's actually a nice touch. So the complete ergonomics is like you sit straight, and the seat is like ultimately comfortable. It's a wider seat, it's very cushioned, it's great to sit on this, and you have a forward set foot peg. It's completely forward set, okay? Because when I started riding this motorcycle, I thought they forgot to put the foot pegs. Then later I got to know that it's so forward set. Generally it comes over here, and now it is over here. So if you have seen my FZS review, I have to say one thing, that this motorcycle is entirely different from the Yamaha FZS. Even though this shares the same engine, the motorcycle is like completely different. So I don't want to talk about the looks more because it's subjective. Some people like it a lot. In my opinion, if I would have to buy this motorcycle, what I'll do is like I'll change the headlight to a normal halogen light with a slightly bigger size, and I'll take off the rear grab rail as well. So to talk about the engine, actually the motor is Alright, coming back to the point, to talk about the engine, this is the same engine that you see on the FZS. So it's all about the mid-range punch. Bottom end is kind of okay, mid-range is really nice, it has that grunt over there, and coming on to the top end, it actually fades a lot. So the easy speed on this motorcycle, like the comfortable speed on this motorcycle, will be something like 70 to 80 on this kind of an open highway. The max which I could do on this motorcycle is something like 110 km per hour. It can reach a 100 km per hour mark, but after that it climbs it. It climbs means sometimes it is stuck at 105. It takes a lot of time to reach the 110 mark. And the mirrors are actually giving good visibility. I really like it. And when it comes to the braking and all, what I'll say that the brakes are extremely beginner friendly. It has ample amount of stopping power, but it doesn't have that initial bite. So basically the brakes are good. You can easily stop the motorcycle. And coming onto the suspension, actually the suspension is set onto a softer side. I'm really comfortable in riding this motorcycle over bad patches of road, because I was riding this motorcycle 2 days back in very bad situation. Like it was raining and there were a hell lot of potholes on the road, and suspension actually handled really well. And yes, of course, this motorcycle comes with dual purpose tires. So the advantage is like as you see over there, you can actually take this motorcycle for minor off-roads, and the motorcycle is actually not bad for cornering as well. I was able to get some corners, and I'm pretty happy with the stability of this motorcycle over the corners. And to take about the few city riding aspects like the ground clearance and all, I'll say that the motorcycle has ample ground clearance. I didn't face any issues until now, and absolutely no heating as well. It's a 150cc motorcycle from Yamaha. So even with the FZS, I was not feeling any heating issues from the motorcycle. The only one thing is like the headlight illumination is a bit low. I don't say that it's bad, because if you are alone on the road and riding on a straight line, then no problem, you'll be able to see everything. But if a different vehicle come in the opposite direction, that one a high beam, then this illumination is very low. So let's stop here and look at the instrument cluster and all. Before that, I'll walk you through all the switches on the handlebar. So what you see over here is this switch actually toggles between the headlights DRL, and this is the high beam and the low beam. It's the indicator, the horn, this is the kill switch, the ignition. That's all pretty much basic. And when we come to the dial, what you see over here is the tachometer. It looks really nice. Dash is actually really big. You might be feeling that in the video as well, but yeah, to be honest, this is one of the biggest console that I've seen in the Yamaha 150 series. So this is the tachometer, and in the middle, and there is no gear position indicator, but it shows an eco. Eco means economy. When you're riding in the economy mode, it will show that eco. And what you see over here is odometer and 2 trip meters, and you can see the time, the speedometer, the big speedometer, and this is the fuel level indicator. That's all. Pretty basic. Since this console is a little big, I appreciate if Yamaha could bring in few other things like the distance to empty and a few other calculations based on the trip kilometers, like fuel consumption, running consumptions, and all those things. So the dash is actually basic. It has basic details. It doesn't have a side stand indicator, but it has a sensor. So if you try to put the motorcycle in the first gear, and if the side stand is on, you won't be able to turn on the motorcycle. And what you see over here is a socket charger. So this is a socket charger. To use that car charger in this to have a USB conversion. So really a small looking motorcycle. Yeah, that's what I was telling, that if I'm buying this motorcycle, I would have changed this headlight to a slightly bigger unit. That too, I might go for a halogen unit, which will actually makes this motorcycle more beautiful. Definitely it might look like an XSR. I'm pretty sure about it. So the motorcycle is actually very light. It's not huge. It is actually good for people who wanted light motorcycle. And the exhaust note is nice, man. It has that bassy feel. Let's pull it hard. So that's the performance you might have seen. It takes a little bit of time to climb from 80 km/h mark to 100 km, and the max which I could do is 106 km/h with my weight. And when it comes to the clutch and the gearbox, the clutch is actually onto a lighter side. There is absolutely no problem in using it. The gearbox, as always, one of the most precious things from Yamaha, be it on the R15 or on the FZS as well. The gearbox is like very neat. It's very crisp. You can feel the gear shifting, and there is no false street. Very much satisfied with it. And coming on to the ownership of this motorcycle is coming on road for 1,58,000 on road Bangalore, and you have to service this motorcycle once 4,500 kilometers. The free service will be something like below 1,000 rupees, and the paid service will be something like 1,000 to 1,500, which is an okayish deal. It's not at all expensive, and the mileage expectations are like 45 km per liter. That's actually nice. The tank size is a little bit smaller when you compare with the FZS. It's 10 liter tank, so on an average there is a good tank range as well. So let's see who will fit onto this motorcycle. So I'll say that if you're someone who wanted a saner motorcycle, a very relaxed and calm motorcycle to ride, this is for you. If you want to ride it inside city, definitely, because the seats are very good. If you want better pillion comfort, definitely you can go for that. And riding inside city, it's not at all a problem. You don't have to shift a lot of gear because the mid-range is good. And if you are looking for a highway tourer, then I'll say that it's a really nice and a calm highway tourer. The speed which I can settle on is something like 80 km/h. So if you are looking for a tourer like that, then definitely you can consider this motorcycle. And I'll be making a different touring review on this motorcycle. The thing is not that you cannot ride this motorcycle beyond 80 km/h, but if you try to push it a little bit hard, I can feel some amount of minor vibration on this tank and all. And it's there on the handlebar as well. But if you are wearing a gloves, you won't be able to feel that on the handlebar. And when it comes to off-roads, I'll say that this motorcycle is actually really nice for minor off-roads. The tires are holding it up well. You can be on that mid RPM in the first gear itself and play around, so off-roads is also good. So altogether, I'll say that it's a very nice motorcycle for all the three purposes, like the city, highway use and off-roads, but in a sane way. That's what I feel. So that's all with this review on the FZX. And if you have any doubts on this motorcycle, do let me know in the comment section. And as always, show some love in the form of likes and comments. See you in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.